Hello, my name is Lorna Lennon. I live in Bray. My main medium for this show is watercolour and mixed media. Well, I was, as a child, always interested in art, but life went off in a different direction and I ended up as a data administrator. And when I was 55, they closed down the whole company in Bray and we were all made redundant. So I decided I didn't want to go into another office job. I wanted to go and study art. So I studied art full-time for 4 years. In the Bray Adult Education Centre for 2 years, I did the level 5, and then in Biffy, and I did the National Higher Diploma in Fine Art. I think Turner would be my favourite artist. He does watercolour as well as oils, and I love his watercolour techniques, and he is so free. He was using mixed media before we were calling it mixed media. He was using nails and straws and sticks and just lashing everything onto the canvas, so I love that. And as a human being, I think one of my art teachers really inspired me, because she used to say, you never say the word can't, just say you haven't learned something yet, and that inspired me to keep trying. I love watercolour because it can be a bit messy, and I like being messy, getting a bit dirty, slapping things around the place. And watercolour is very forgiving in that sense. It's very free and easy, especially the semi-abstract style that I'm painting in at the moment. Well, I did just tell you about being a bit messy, and when I was studying art full-time, there were 6 of us doing oil painting, and 3 of the others got together and asked to be in a separate place than the 3 of us because we were so messy and sloppy. So the teacher actually let them be over the other side of the classroom, but I thought that was a badge of honour. I think in general, the most helpful thing somebody can do is learn colour mixing, because if you have the basics of colour mixing, well, you're saving yourself a lot of money buying different colour paints, but you get a real understanding of your medium if you learn colour mixing. And in particular in watercolour, I think it's important to get good paper and good paint, because if you won't spend a bit of money on those things, you'll never get to a place where you can paint well. Well, I don't think my space helps me to work much because it's my living room table. So, and I use it for everything else as well. But it's great because I live in an upstairs apartment with windows on 3 sides. So my living room table actually has light coming onto it from 2 windows. So it's a really bright space, which is very helpful for art. And also you have to be economical about what you can keep there. And you can't make too much of a mess because the table has to be used for other things as well. So in that sense, it's helpful. I'd love to have a studio, but I'm such a messy person. The living room table is probably better for me because it makes me be disciplined. Well, I think in several ways actually. Signal gave me the opportunity. I started working at Signal right after I finished studying art. So I had the opportunity here to start teaching art, which was great. I teach watercolour and acrylic and classical drawing. And I don't think I would have started to do that so quickly if I hadn't been working here, and that was part of my job here. And then also, of course, it gave me the opportunity to exhibit in shows. So I've had pieces in the Signal Mehel and also in the Signal Open. And my upcoming exhibition is, of course, through Signal as well. Okay, well, the name of the exhibition is Night Today, and it opens on Monday the 16th of October and runs until Sunday the 29th. And then there's an opening reception on Thursday the 19th from 7 to 9 p.m. I think because my style of painting is semi-abstract, it leaves a lot open for a person looking at the painting to bring themselves to the painting. So it's a kind of a collaboration between myself and the viewer when you look at a semi-abstract painting. But the exhibition is about light and shade and night and day, and I'm hoping it would encourage people to look at the world around them and see what's going on in the night and the day, how light reflects on things, what the sky is like in the morning, what it's like in the afternoon, and just be more open to that, because light and shade is one of my things I really love to study in art. Well, I like the evening cityscapes. There's one of those here, which is mixed media, so a lot of things go into that. I love painting with things other than brushes, so I would sometimes use twigs or cocktail sticks, chopped up credit cards to get fine lines, sometimes my own fingers and things like that. So I like being close to the material I'm using and just throwing in there whatever comes to hand in a semi-structured way, shall we say. This here, yeah, most of the buildings were done dipping credit cards into the paint straight from the tube and swiping it sideways. And then also these little marks here were done by printing with the side of the credit card. And then a lot of these smudges here I just did with my fingers. The base behind it, the sky behind it, is done wet on wet. You just flood the paper with water, having stuck it down very firmly first, flood it with water and then float the paint on top and move it in your hand like this so it all runs together. And then let that dry completely, and then once it's dry completely you can put the mixed media on top of it then. It's all watercolour except there's some gouache in it. The white is gouache, and I think there might be a little acrylic in there too, just to get the bright colours to show up. I don't think so. I think because I came to art so late in life, well, comparatively late in life, I suppose your 50s isn't that late in life these days. I'd like to encourage everybody to do art and to believe that they can be part of art in a big way or a small way, that art is accessible to everybody and it's really good for everybody, for our well-being and just to bring us joy.